for a specific purpose for my student who are learning qualitative and quantitative data analysis. Okay, during our semester, we are in a situation of having a pandemic COVID-19. So we are in a movement control order. We are not attending face-to-face classes. Our university already make a move to transfer face-to-face classes to open and distant learning. So this is one way of me communicating my lectures to my student. Okay, so how is everybody? I hope everybody is in a good health. Okay, and you are even though we are far apart, hopefully we can still communicate with each other. Okay, for your information, we know that the subject matters is regarding quantitative and qualitative data analysis. However, in order for me to proceed with that, let's allow me to start with a brief explanation of the research itself, okay, so that it will flow. Okay, kalau saya start terus dengan data analysis, nanti dia macam tergantung. Okay, so what I do is just a brief what we call refresh. Okay, because you're supposed to learn this already in your RAC 733. Okay, so basically what I'm going to have in my slide here is based on the reference textbook that is J.W. Creswell. Okay, the textbook that you already have is one. Okay, so I will go through the lecture using this book as a reference. Okay, so what is research? Okay, so for your information, research is a process of step used to collect and analyze information to increase our understanding of a topic or issues. Okay, it's a process of step used to collect and analyze information to increase our understanding of a topic or issues. Okay, according to Creswell, generally research consists of 3 steps. First, pose a question. Secondly, collect the data to answer the question. Okay, third one is present and answer to the question. So, as you yourself in solving problem every day, we start with a question. Okay, collect some information and then form answer. For example, katakanlah in solving nak masak apa hari ni. Okay, so I already posed a question. What should I cook for iftar today? Okay, sebelum tulis menu, I will ask, what should I cook for today, for example? Okay, so I pose a question and then I collect some information. Maybe I go browse through what we have eat previously, menu-menu apa yang dah guna, resepi apa yang dah ada, and then from that, barulah kita tahu apa kita nak masak hari ni. Kita pasal masak kan? Okay, so that is basically what we have done in our daily basis. Okay. So why is it important for us to do research? Okay, first, research add to our knowledge. Secondly, research improve practice. And thirdly, research inform policy debate. Okay, so we go, when we talk about research here, it refers to the educational research. Okay, so why is it important for us to do this research? Okay, because it adds to our knowledge, it will improve practice, and it will inform policy debates. Okay, so let's see how research add to our knowledge. Educators undertake research to contribute to existing information about issues. Through research, we develop results that help to answer questions, and we accumulate this result. We gain a deeper understanding of the problem. Okay, through research, we develop results that help to answer questions, and as we accumulate this result, we gain a deeper understanding of the problem. Okay, for example, before we start with our open and distance learning semester, if you still remember, our academic affairs already have a short survey, okay, asking the readiness of the student, possible problem, and so on. So from that, they have some knowledge, okay, in understanding the problem. Okay, so that is a simple research process. Okay, the next important is research improve practice. Research result suggests improvement to practice. Research offers practicing educators new ideas to consider as they go about their job. Research also helps practitioners evaluate approach that they hope will work with individuals in educational setting. Okay, research improve practice. For example, when we are conducting our open and distance learning session, lecturers need to know the internet coverage for the student, what the student prefer. Okay, so daripada situ lecturers can improve practice. Okay, so we need to do some research. Tak bolehlah saya tiba-tiba terus buat Google Meet for example. Lepas tu semua kerah je. Okay, static je. Okay, so if I do not do some research, that what will happen. Okay. And in your point of view, maybe that's why I say when you do research, it will be better for you to be in your work field. Okay, because the finding of your research can contribute to you yourself in improving your practice. Okay, either as auditor, administrator. Okay, the finding of the research can help you to improve your practice. Okay, the next important is research informed policy debates. Okay, sometimes research information can assist policymaker. Okay, why? Because when policymakers read research on issues, they are informed about current debates and stance taken by other public officials. Be useful, research need to have a clear result, be summarized in a concise fashion, and include database evidence. Okay, that's why dalam musim COVID ni, kerajaan ada mengeluarkan grant penyelidikan untuk melakukan penyelidikan berkaitan dengan COVID-19. Okay, because why? Because they hope that the finding of the research can inform in the policy making later on. Okay, so research can have some sort of contribution to policy maker. Okay, however, you need to be careful of several problems with research today. Okay, why you need to be careful? Sometimes when you read the article, you will see the problem in the article that you read. Okay, for example, sometimes the results show contradictory or vague finding. Okay, tak jelas. Okay, ataupun bercanggah. Okay, where evidence are not clearly identified. Another problem is the issue of questionable data. Okay, sometimes when we read the finding of a research, kita pun macam, betul ke ni? Betul ke ni? Kita pun macam question about the data. Okay, the reason for that may be the author ataupun researcher may not have gathered information from people who are able to understand and address the problem. Okay, for example, maybe when we talk about kalau kita nak research pasal internet banking, for example, of course you need to find the participant or respondent yang guna internet banking tu, barulah dia boleh bagi kita maklumat yang berkaitan. Okay, kalau kita buat research about parents dengan anak-anak dia, you kena pasti yang jawab respon you tu adalah parents. Okay, kalau you bagi dekat student ataupun yang belum kahwin, of course the answer will be inaccurate. Okay. Another contribution to that, the number of participants may also be dismally low, which can cause problem in drawing appropriate statistical conclusion. Okay, and then the survey used in study may contain questions that are ambiguous and vague. And the researcher may have chosen an inappropriate statistic for analyzing the data. Okay, this part is where our RAC 743 play a role. Okay, we don't want this to happen to your research later on. We don't want people to question your data. Betul ke? Betul ke dia ni ambil? Betul ke dia ambil daripada partisipan yang layak? Betul ke data dia tak menipu? Betul ke dia dah analyse menggunakan statistik yang sepatutnya? So this is the issues that you need to look into, or this is a problem that you need to avoid in doing a research. Okay, so to avoid this problem, sebab tu kita kena go through our quanti and quali analysis. Okay, so that we won't contribute to this kind of situation. Kita tak nak research you nanti orang question pasal data yang you hasilkan. Okay, next ada problem. The unclear statement about the intent of the study, the lack of full disclosure of data collection procedure, inarticulate statement of the research problem that drive inquiry. So this part I'm not going to discuss into further detail because this is where the part that you learn in drawing your research proposal. Okay. However, if this part is having problem, of course it will affect your data analysis as well. So according to Creswell, Creswell lists 6 steps in the process of research. First one, identifying a research problem. Second one, what you have been doing so far. Okay, you should be familiar with reviewing the literature, specifying a purpose for research, collecting data, analyzing and interpreting the data, reporting and evaluating research. Okay, so our part is focusing more on number 5, analyzing and interpreting the data. However, in order for us to make a reliable finding, okay, the number 1, 2, 3 and 4 must be also a good ataupun reliable lah, betul lah. Nombor 1, 2, 3 dan 4 mesti betul, barulah data yang you dapat tu adalah data yang kukuh, valid. Bila kita analyse dan interpret, dia mengeluarkan result yang sepatutnya. Okay. So kalau you tengok pada Creswell, ini adalah figure yang diambil daripada Creswell textbook. Okay, the process start here, identifying a research problem, and then once you identify the research problem, you review the literature, specific purpose, specifying A purpose for research, collecting data and analyzing interpretation. Okay. So let's briefly go what is a process of identifying a research problem. Okay, begin a research study by identifying a topic to study. Okay, a topic to study consists of specifying an issues to study. Apa isu yang you nak tengok. Developing justification for studying. Kalau tadi apa isu, next one is kenapa you nak tengok isu tu, and suggesting the importance of the study for select audience. Okay, so this is what contained in your identifying your research problem. Okay, so the need, issues or controversy that arise will form a research problem. And then research problem ni adalah sebahagian daripada statement of the problem ataupun yang kita panggilkan sebagai problem statement. So problem statement merangkumi topik itself, the problem, a justification for the problem, and the importance of studying it for a specific audience. Okay. In the Creswell textbook, Creswell give you 2 sampel artikel. Okay, kat belakang chapter 1 dia bagi 2 sampel artikel, satu artikel on quantitative, satu artikel on qualitative. So you boleh tengok artikel tu and tengok where is the research problem of the article as a guideline, okay, for you in going through the Creswell textbook. Okay. So this is a very important process. First step, okay, very important step in the research process is identifying a research problem. What is the issue that you want to study? Once you already have the issues, then you review the literature. Okay, important to know who has studied the research problem you plan to examine. Possibility of conducting study that merely replicate prior research. Okay, so that's why you go to literature. Kita nak tengok ada tak orang dah buat. Takut kita tiba-tiba buat sama dengan apa yang orang dah buat. They have to build an existing knowledge and manage to accumulation of finding on topic. Okay, kadang-kadang, not kadang-kadang, normally when you go to your literature is for you to build knowledge. Okay, that's why kita cari gap. Because this is educational research. Kita nak tengok apa yang orang dah buat. Research kita boleh tambah tak pada knowledge yang dah ada. Okay, so the process of reviewing the literature is actually locating summaries, books, journal, and index publication on a topic, selectively choosing which literature to include in your review, and summarizing the literature in a written report. Of course, this is a process that you have been doing. Okay, cari database mana, nak Google website mana, okay, go to library nak ambil yang mana. So this is what you do in reviewing the literature, and then from that articles you identify which one is relevant to your issues and then summarize it in your written report. Okay, that is the second process. So in here, strategy for searching the literature and writing the review is important. Strategy meaning that satu, mungkin you boleh tengok website apa yang you dah tengok. Kadang-kadang kalau saya tengok keyword search apa yang kita dah guna. Okay, mungkin keyword search kita tu menentukan jumpanya kita dengan artikel yang kita nak tu. Okay, so mungkin benda-benda ni semua you kena catat. Okay, katakanlah kalau saya mungkin cari environmental reporting. Okay, kecilkan lagi skop dia, environmental reporting by SMEs for example. Okay, and then sometimes kalau nak environmental reporting by SME in Malaysia, to narrow it to Malaysia. So this one normally saya tulis lah sebab takut nanti kita miss out the searching, the literature search menyebabkan kita tak jumpa artikel-artikel yang bagus lah ataupun yang berkait dengan subjek kita. So strategy for searching the literature and writing the review is important. Okay, step number 3, okay, is specifying a purpose for research. If your research problem cover a broad topic of concern, you need to focus it so that you can study it. A focus restatement of the problem is the purpose statement. It conveys the overall objective or intent of the research. Okay, so the purpose for research consists of identifying the major intent or objective for a study, narrowing it into specific research question and hypothesis. Okay, the purpose statement contains a focus of the study, participant in the study, and the location or site of study. So this is where kalau you tengok flow you punya research proposal tu dia narrow kan daripada problem kepada problem statement. Towards the end you come up with your research question or your research hypothesis where you focus on certain things only that you want to study. Okay, the purpose statement is then narrowed to research question or prediction that you plan to answer in your research study. Okay, process number 4 is collecting data. Okay, collect data. Evidence help provide answer to your research question and hypothesis. Okay, you need to engage in the step of collecting or gathering data to get the answer to the question. So, if you are looking for faktor mempengaruhi, for example, okay, apakah faktor yang mempengaruhi penglibatan pelajar dalam open and distance learning, for example. Okay, apa yang mempengaruhi ketidakhadiran pelajar ataupun keterlibatan pelajar dalam open and distance learning, for example. So maybe isu yang besar adalah open and distance learning. Okay, you nak tahu kenapa pelajar tu tak hadir ataupun tak masuk, tak terlibat dengan perbincangan, for example. Okay, so you narrow it into becoming a question. Then in collecting data, you are looking for evidence to help provide answer yang you tanya soalan tadi kan. Kenapa, what, how, where and so on. Okay, you need to engage in the step of collecting or gathering data to get the answer to the question. Okay, so collecting data means identifying and selecting individual for a study. This is what I always mention to you. Siapakah sampel you? Okay, you need to identify who is your sample, who is the individual for your study. And then you need to obtain their permission to study them. Okay, and gathering information by asking people question or observing their behavior. Okay, so major concern is the need to obtain accurate data from individual and place. Okay, major concern is the need to obtain accurate data from individual and place. Okay, macam saya cakap tadi lah, kalau kita nak research on parents, then you must make sure that yang jawab, katakanlah you guna questionnaire, yang jawab tu adalah parents. Kalau kita nak research pasal penglibatan pelajar dalam ODL, kita kena cari pelajar yang memang involved dengan ODL lah. Kita jangan cari pelajar yang cuti SEM. kita tak boleh cari pelajar uni yang tidak menggunakan, dia bukan sekadar mana-mana pelajar, dia kena pelajar yang terlibat dengan open and distance learning yang kita laksanakan sekarang. Okay, so that's how we get the accurate data, okay, from individual and place. Okay, this step will produce a collection of numbers. Okay, test score, frequency of behavior or words, response, opinion and codes. Okay, so macam you dah buat semester lepas bila you guna Google Form. Okay, so dalam Google Form tu you boleh tentukan sama ada you nak dalam bentuk macam mana. Frequency, numbers, yes, no. Okay, so this step of collecting data, we produce a collection of numbers or words. Once individual and place are identified, method or procedure section are written. It offers detailed technical discussion about the mechanic and administration of data collection. So this is a proses keempat iaitu collecting data. Okay, so bila you dah kenal pasti siapa sampel you akan detailkan dengan macam mana you nak collect data. Okay, the technical part of collecting the data. Okay. So once you have the data in you, okay, katakanlah data dalam bentuk Excel, kalau you pakai Google Form, dia respon dalam bentuk Excel. So when you have the data, then you can analyze the data. Ataupun kalau kita administer hard copy questionnaires, kita distribute all the questionnaires and then kita collect all the questionnaires. Now, in order for us to analyze, you kena key in dulu lah. Okay, so the process of analyzing and interpreting the data, okay, during or immediately after collecting, after data collection, you need to make sense of the information supplied by the individual in the study. Okay, so you dah key in semua, you going to analyze. Analyzing and interpreting the data involve drawing conclusion about it, representing it in table, figure and pictures to summarize it, and explaining the conclusion in words to provide answer to your research question. Okay, so kalau you are familiar in using Google Form, you akan tengok dalam respon Google Form tu dia ada Excel, dia ada juga dah pie chart, dia ada bar chart. So that is already data. Okay, jadi daripada data-data yang diterbitkan tu, macam mana you analyse? Apa yang you faham daripada data tu? Okay, that is the analysing and interpreting the process. However, in analysing the data that you have, okay, you kena tengok balik you punya research question. Okay, whether it's explain or provide the answer to your research question. Okay, and final step is, okay, nampaknya lewat sikit baru nak joget ni. Okay, reporting and evaluating the research. Okay, reporting research involve deciding on audience, structuring the report in a format acceptable to this audience, and this return the report in a manner that is sensitive to all reader. Okay, saya rasa yang ni you kena check balik dalam Cresswell. Rasanya saya ada typing error here, so you check back your notes. Okay, reporting research meaning that for you it will be to UiTM. Okay, you need to follow the format given by the UiTM. If your research is, if the finding of your research is suitable for your employer, katakanlah you buat pasal yang research yang boleh bantu majikan you, maybe you kena transform balik kepada report yang bersesuaian. Ataupun katakanlah research you tu boleh digunakan untuk agensi-agensi lain, maka you can still use using different reporting format. But our focus here is on your in completing your dissertation. Okay. I think that will be it for the introduction to education research part 1. Okay, we're going to continue in the next part later on. Okay, so with that, bye bye. See you in part 2.